One day, my daughter came to me, and I had noticed through the past year her hair loss, and so we went to a doctor, and it was a dermatologist, and he diagnosed her with alopecia. That night I happened to be home watching television, and I saw a commercial for hair loss, and it was ironic, and I called, made an appointment, we came.
And I gave her a really hard time.
Yeah.
I gave her a really hard time. I was crying and upset because I didn't want, I was struggling with it, and I didn't want to really, at that point it was really real, and I had to address the situation. And at 15 years old, 16 years old, it's like you're confronting so much and you're dealing with so much that at that point, she was the easiest one to say, like, I'm not going there, right. I'm not doing this. And meanwhile, as she would hear me, silently suffering. And so it was a really trying period for quite some time. And you were,
persistent. I walked in the door and met this wonderful lady, just unbelievable lady. And the minute I saw her, I just was like, oh my gosh, I have relief, I have peace, I have comfort. Alexis followed in, and she sort of giggled and smiled, and the lady just embraced us and just reassured us that everything would be fine. And guess what? It's beyond fine. It's incredible. It really is incredible. And just taking care of a 15-year-old and reassuring her how beautiful she was and how beautiful she will always stay. And her hair is just magnificent. And every time they do a system and every time they tweak it for her, it gets better and better. And we've been with them almost 19 years and wouldn't be anywhere else.
And I don't ever have a bad, quote unquote hair days.
No, you don't have a bad hair day. I do, but you don't.
Yeah, totally. But I don't have those bad hair days anymore. And I have a ton of self-confidence, and there is, like she said, there's a lot of peace that came with this.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, the minute our eyes met, honestly, the minute our eyes met, I just felt relief and just the smile and warmth from everybody in the studio. It was just incredible.
Yeah, so it was like the best thing ever. And we've been here like 19 years. It's just a long time. And over the years, you become family, and I'm really lucky. Not everybody gets that opportunity to have that experience. So I'm always happy to share my story because it's such a positive story and it has such an amazing ending to it. And it's not ending because it's a continuous, I will always be a client. I will always be an advocate, and I will always talk about my story because I know that if it wasn't for that person that was on that infomercial that day, or commercial, so to speak, we wouldn't have been here. It would have taken us a really long time to find that right solution. And this is the right solution, the best solution. And every day, starting at 15, I'll be 34, I don't ever think twice about it. I walk every day. I'm in a very public position with a lot of people, and nobody ever wonders. So it's a very comforting and great feeling. And for
as
my
a mom, there's nothing greater than knowing your child or young adult is comfortable and happy and content. And I have to thank the hair salon for starting that, because teenagers are tough and challenging. So working with them as a young adult has definitely, and taking her through her young lady years has been incredible. And they've taken the journey every step of the way with us. From senior ball to,
every
standing up
wedding.
in weddings, and when you want your hair absolutely perfect. And they made sure it was absolutely perfect for her. And
every event.
Yeah.
Every life event, every gala, every wedding,
And even going swimming. When it's hot and 90 degrees, you want to go swimming. And the hair is there and it's in place and no worries.
Yes, all my travels, you're right. I think, initially some some of the hesitation maybe was coming to the aftermath of once I went to the hair studio, what would people think, or would it be a big difference, or is it gonna look different? Am I gonna look like me again, or am I not gonna look like me? But it was, at that point, it was an improved me. It was a more confident me, and I could, walk into a room comfortable again. So the only thing I think people really saw that I was like a calmer, I was happier. They might not have realized, like, oh my goodness, like Lex, I was still Lex to them. I was still Alexis. I was still a happy person. I was still smiling, just with a little bit more confidence and a little bit more like love, I like to think about it. There was a lot more, but it wasn't a huge change. Nobody walked up to the street and was like, oh my gosh. It was more subtle. It was like, wow, you look great. Like, what are you doing with yourself? Like, you look beautiful. And that's every time, every time we go to change a new hairstyle or do something different, it's just anybody else. Oh, you got your hair done? Oh, that looks awesome.
I was gonna say, no one ever knows unless I tell them.
Yeah.
That she wears a system. So, and people even forget she is a systematic.
Yeah, that's always the funniest thing to me, because I am vocal about it and I do talk about it. But if you don't ever want to talk about it, you don't have to. And that's the coolest thing, because people, like Mom says, people forget all the time. Mm-hmm. And then you have to remind them. They're like, oh yeah, I forget that. Sometimes, yeah, we do talk about that. Or, yeah, we can send a family friend because you've gone through it. But it's like the most comforting feeling. It's not intimidating. It's not anything. There's no pain to it. All those pains that you like internalize, those go away. All of a sudden you look up and you're like, cool, I'm here.